8569 Holloway was the address of Sal Mineo. Now, Sal was actually killed behind 8567. So that's 8567 here. And Sal was murdered not in that carport, but in one behind it, where we're going to go in a second, hopefully. Now, just to let you know what happened behind this building, and we'll go back there, but I don't want to make a spectacle of myself. At approximately 9:30 p.m. on February 12, 1976, cries for help were heard by tenants from the rear of this building, 8567 Holloway. LA Sheriff's Office was alerted and units responded to the rear of 8567 and found the decedent, Sal Mineo, on his side in a fetal position in the driveway between carports R7 and 8 with a stab wound to his chest. Fire Unit 7 responded, turned the decedent on his back, cut his jacket, shirt, and attempted resuscitation. He was pronounced dead at 9:55. This investigator and James Navarro, I think, coroner's photographer, responded to the scene at, looks like 1:25 a.m. Photographed the decedent and searched his body. His wallet containing $21 in bills was found in his left jacket pocket. Yellow metal pocket watch with a chain in the right jacket pocket. Coins in left pants pocket. 85 cents in change on the pavement under him. White metal ring noticed on his left index finger and left on his body. Several restaurant receipt stubs and 2 cards with the names and phone numbers found in the decedent's pockets were retained by Sergeant Pia for further investigation. It's a funny building in that you have to go all the way to the end onto Alta Loma Street to enter it, to park. I mean, if I wanted to, I could walk right through there, but I wanted you to get the idea of what it's like. And once we get back there, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to disturb the residents. It's probably bad enough that they get bugged by YouTubers to do this, but I want to go back there and I want to cause a spectacle, and I can always add voiceover. I know that building. I saw Nancy Sinatra coming out of there once, and I know that Diane Cannon lives in there. Now, it's kind of distinctive in a way that you can see there's these things on the left, sort of curb things, and they are distinctive.
I'd recently found this black and white photograph that shows the top of one of the parking structures having plumbing. And I was confused when I was there because it seems a little distorted because these 2 ramps that you see here are the only 2 that are that close together. But we decided that they've been modified since then, and that this photograph was taken with a telephoto lens, thus distorting the distance. But now I'm positive that this is the correct part of the alley where Sal was killed.
Decedent's body found in the east-west position with head towards the east. No weapon found at the scene and no suspects in custody at this time. His automobile was noted parked in the carport at the rear of apartment number 1 at 8569, a short distance from where he was found. His hands were bagged at the scene for protection for Sheriff's Crime Lab. So, stab wounds to the chest was his cause of death. His 8569 Holloway apartment 1 homicide in the alley by unknown person. So they heard the sounds in these apartments.
Now, as best as I can figure, this was Sal's apartment. That it just made that sense geographically, and also there's no number on it, which is also usually indicative of something like that. I met someone fairly recently who was a guest of Sal's in his apartment here. He told me that Sal's apartment was just jam-packed with memorabilia and just personal items, but not disorderly. Everything was fairly neat in its place, but it was absolutely, there was a lot of stuff in there. And the centerpiece in the main room was a set of drums that Gene Krupa had given him when Sal did the film, the Gene Krupa Story, in 1959.
So that flower bin that you see right there, plantery thing, that shows up in one of the crime scene photographs, actually one of the investigation photographs, when it shows, well, you can see clearly those stairs and that sign right there and that light. But you can see the officer, the detective, looking into that pot right there, or, yeah. Thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Sal's murder went unsolved for a couple of years, and during that time, the West Hollywood Sheriff's Department had an investigation or a team or a desk devoted specifically to the murder of Sal Mineo. And there were lots and lots of tips, probably hundreds of tips. Turned out that Sal Mineo wouldn't turn out. Sal Mineo was gay, and it became a gay murder. You know, there was still probably a mental illness at the time legally. So it was all this debauchery, S&M, drugs, had to be drugs. And it was right off the Sunset Strip, too, which also was known for its indulgent behavior. So a couple of years later, there was an inmate in a Michigan jail by the name of Lionel Williams who confessed to his cellmate that he had killed Sal Mineo. He was in jail already, or in prison already, for bad checks. Now, while in jail, a prison guard overheard him tell another inmate that he had killed Mineo. Williams later retracted his confession, but his wife told the police that Williams returned home the night of the murder, covered in blood. In February and March of 1978, this is during the trial, it said that he had confessed to, in the presence of his cousins, that he confessed to killing Mineo, and they said that he committed the murder at a location below the Sunset Strip in Hollywood while planning to rob someone. He also made an incriminating statement on other occasions. This would be the one in Michigan counted as that. Another woman by the name of Marianne Newsom had known him for several years. This came out in the trial. She said during the early mornings of September of 1976, someday in 76, he came to her apartment claiming to be depressed, stated that he supposedly killed some famous guy in West Hollywood. Something about money being involved too, but he didn't take any. She also testified that he wore many different hairstyles and changed his hair color in 1976. And it should be noted that when he was in prison in Michigan, his hair color had an orange or light brown cast to it. So the witnesses that were there that night claimed they saw a white guy getting away in a yellow car. And Williams had a yellow car. He obviously isn't a white guy, but his hair had been changed. The hair color had been changed. One of the people that were a witness said it was a white guy with long blonde hair. Another one said they may have been someone who appeared Mexican or Italian with that shade of skin. All they got was Williams, and Williams seemed to have he had confessed. He'd confessed. He told people that he'd done it. Now, he was paroled in 1990 after only 12 years. And currently he has a documentary out trying to clear his name from guilt. And it's called Unseen Innocence. And it says on the poster, I guess, I haven't seen it yet because it isn't available to see yet. It says Hollywood actor Sal Mineo was murdered outside his West Hollywood home. Witnesses saw a white man running away from the murder scene. A black man was sentenced to 51 years for a murder he did not commit. He says in this that yellow car was really the only thing that linked him to the scene. But the confessions, I guess, too. 12 years. That's what he got.
So here's Sal's death certificate. February 12th, 9:55 p.m. 8569 is his residence. Rear of 8567.
You heard me.